Hi guys, it's April 15th, tax day, and I took a break yesterday because I was really busy. I had to go to work and school, so I didn't do a video blog. But like I said, I was going to do some Shakespeare reviews, Shakespeare. I always mess with like the first 5 seconds of these things. I don't know why, because I'm not a nervous person, so this doesn't really bother me, but I said I'd be doing some Shakespeare spin-offs, reviews, so spin-offs of his plays, and that would be fiction, in the form of fiction, so books. And the first one I have for you today is a book I actually haven't read yet, but I skimmed through last night and kind of looked through. And what they are it's actually a series of books called Shakespeare, Manga Shakespeare. And now, I'm not a big fan of manga or anime. Don't kill me. I know that there are oodles and oodles and oodles and boodles of fans out there that just crave this stuff. I know, because by working at the library, I just know the volume of graphic novels we have there, and how many kids and adults come in and look for these kinds of books. But I thought this was a really interesting book, because it's Shakespeare, and you think, oh, wow, they're really degrading the bard, putting him in a cartoon form. And I kind of thought that at first, but and I changed my mind, and I thought this is a great educational tool as well. Me going to education. I'm going to sound really boring, sorry. But this is a version of Much Ado About Nothing, and basically it's not the full text of Much Ado About Nothing, one of Shakespeare's most famous comedies and my favorite of his comedies. But what it is anime or manga. I'm sorry, I don't know the difference between the two, but it's manga, and it's not the full text. But it basically, has the pictures, shows the expression of the characters while they're saying their lines, and it has the most famous lines in there, the most famous situations. It does kind of, dilute it a little bit, it waters it down, but it's not anything like you're going to miss out on the main idea or the main themes by reading this. I wouldn't recommend reading any of these before you actually see the play for yourself. A live action performance. Don't really go sit down and watch a movie or a modern interpretation of it. Read the play or see a real play, a real representation of the play first before you read one of these. When I said educational tool, I meant if you're in high school and you're being introduced to Shakespeare in your English class, or you're taking a class on Shakespeare, what you want to do is, if you're struggling with the text, or if you're a very visual person and it's hard for you to see what's going on in the play, read the section of the text you're supposed to read for your homework assignment or everything, then pick up the copy of this, read whatever section you just read in the original text in this, and maybe things will become clear. I just think this would be like a great reward or a great treat after, stumbling through some of the laborious verses and prose that are Shakespeare. So I just think that this is kind of like a reward. It's really a clever way to introduce Shakespeare to younger audiences, but I wouldn't recommend it just sitting down and reading a diluted version before you actually get the full weight and the full beauty of his text. So go ahead and pick this up if you're in a Shakespeare class and if you're struggling with it, or even if you're not struggling with it. I find these, they're just really kind of interesting. I haven't really read any of them all the way through, but I just like looking at the illustrations and seeing how they interpreted what the characters' reactions and expressions are. I just think it's really interesting artist interpretation. Yeah, but very clever. I'm going to show you these beautiful front pages here, because the whole thing is in black and white except for the cast of characters, I guess you could call it, in the front. And my favorite couple, almost. I don't like Romeo and Juliet. I like Beatrice and Benedict because they actually carry on with their lives. But this is Beatrice and this is Benedict, and you can just see the beautiful work that has been done to create these characters in manga form. And they look like real people. They aren't like the severely caricatured versions of like the Dragon Ball or whatever Pokemon, I don't even know. They look like real people. So, Much Ado About Nothing, Manga Shakespeare. Check it out. This one is illustrated by Emma Vieceli, I don't know, Vieceli. Check it out. I know a lot of libraries are starting to carry them now. So, that's a graphic novel, and this is a real fiction book. So, This is called, I don't like totally blanked out there. This is called Something Rotten by Gratz, and it is a Horatio Wilkes mystery. Now there is a sequel, and I picked it up last night because I haven't read it yet, and I just started it, and I thought it was an interesting beginning. I'm not sure if I like it. He seems to have gone a little bit edgy with his innuendo, and I'm not really appreciating that quite so much. But this one is a massive hysterical laugh, even though it's supposed to be based on one of the most tragic plays in the history of playwriting. So I just loved it. I read it 2 years ago, so I can't remember a whole lot about it. I do know that it follows the plot of Hamlet quite closely, but puts it fresh and young face on it. Basically, it's this character, Horatio Wilkes, and if some of you know, Horatio is Hamlet's best friend in the original play. And he is trying to help Hamilton figure out who killed Hamilton's father. Hamilton is the character's name, not Hamlet. So they kind of change up the names, but they represent the main characters anyway. And it's just a huge laugh. The main character, Horatio, has got a massive amount of wit, and he's absolutely hilarious. I was rolling on the floor at times. I do remember that, and it's intense. It's somewhat intense. And what happens to Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, if you're familiar with the original play, is absolutely horrific, and at the same time you can't help just laughing because it's so extreme. So check it out. Something Rotten by Gratz, and Something Rotten based on that famous line, something is rotten in the state of Denmark. And a very interesting cover. So this one is based on Hamlet. Now I'm getting the characters' names confused. Hamilton, Hamlet. This one that I picked up last night, like I passed by before, is based on Macbeth. And I actually read Macbeth for the first time this past winter, and I loved it. Loved Macbeth. In some ways it was kind of similar to Hamlet, some of the same themes, but at the same time enjoyable. So we'll see how this one goes. Don't really quite, it's this, once again, same plot, like Hamlet. So that's that. I think I'm going to take you outside so you can see the gloriousness that is the beautiful place in which I live. That will continue to remain a mystery, and I think that's all I have for you today, other than just looking out and seeing the wind tunnel I live in. But it is beautiful and sunny, so see you in a second. Okay, I found out I have to cook some dinner, so this isn't going to be very long, but this is the place in which I live. I don't know why I'm talking like that, but it is really, it's mild. When it gets really windy here, it gets really windy here. I mean, as in things blowing over, as in if you step out on the deck, you'll fall over. I'll fall over because I'm so tiny, but yeah. It's beautiful today, and I don't know what else to do with myself because I have homework after this, and I don't want to go in the house because it's so nice. But yep, this is where I live. This is how beautiful it is here. I hope it's not crummy where you're living. Like, I hope you're not in Alaska and it's just, well, I don't know. Is it snowing in Alaska now? I don't really know what the weather is like at this time of year in Alaska. I mean, I guess it depends on where you live, if you live in a mountainous area. That's geology talking. Crap. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't do homework. I'll see you later. Bye.